Good evening guys. Ilang araw na rin na hindi ako nakapag-update ng aking ng Marilyn Haco story about life at sea, port of calls and others. Gusto ko lang din i-share yung aking naging buhay sa Disney Cruise Line. Alam ko mahigpit sa Disney. Wala akong kinakatakutan kung magsalita man ako kasi hindi ko naman sinisiraan ang Disney at saka wala na ako sa Disney. I'm still grateful with Disney. Gusto ko lang i-share sa aking vlog dahil ito yung aking sinishare. Ito pala yung guys yung naging story ko. September 2001, my first contract with Disney Cruise Line. I was deployed by Dolphin Ship Management to work as quartermaster for Disney Magic. We met the ship in Port Canaveral, Orlando. Hindi ko na-include yung story ko na kung paano ako na-hire sa Disney, sa Dolphin, yung mga ganon. Guys, black and white rin to na i-computer ko. Lahat ng barko ko, ginagawan ko ng story. Matagal na ito. More than I was with Disney from 2001 to 2004, 3 years. So mga 20 years to decade na. Orlando, Florida, USA. Orlando is a very big and nice city of Florida wherein I stayed in a hotel for the first time in the USA. We had a family tradition meeting for 3 days at Celebration Place, Orlando. It was Disney's orientation for all the newly hired crew. We had a great time and we were being fetched by a bus of Disney cruise line. We went to a nearby shopping center just to have a look. After our orientation, our instructress named Nancy, a French lady who always told us that she was a guest in Disney ship before and later on got a chance to work at DCL Shoreside. She always told us too that she fell in love with Disneyland Paris. She brought us to Walt Disney World. We took a ride of Pirates of Caribbean. I was the first one seated at the first row of a small boat running the water inside a dim place that looked like a cave. It was so amazing and horrible. There was fake remnants or dead bodies of pirates as it looked like real. It was one of my unforgettable experience. We also went to Disney costuming department. We found the costumes of Disney's characters like Mickey Mouse and others. We also fall in line going inside the big room that made my day so joyful. Ito yung pinaka-memorable kong na-experience sa Disneyland. They called that spot Kokatu. It was so awesome and amazing. We were inside sitting with different nationalities and it was slightly dim until we heard a public announcement that taking pictures or video record was not allowed, and suddenly we heard a voice singing nicely. We were all surprised to see that every stuff like bench, table, chairs, pillars, or even at the ceilings got characters and fake birds which opened and formed its shapes as the light opened as they were singing nicely and joyfully. They sang like a human, so amusing. We found out that we were sitting beside each one of them. So amazing. We also took a ride to a roller coaster and train. We also went inside the Disneyland Floridian Spa and Hotel. What a beautiful hotel. I can never forget that day. Happened to see many people coming from any part of the world just to see the Disneyland. Good chance I got camera and we took pictures at the main street of Disney MGM. I had picture beside the statue of Walt Disney and Mickey in front of Cinderella's castle. Walter and Roy Disney are brothers. Walt Disney died already, but Roy Disney is still alive and still working with Disney companies. Hindi ko ito babasahin. Disney got a lot of properties and it became an American tradition. Yun lang. They are famous brothers who invented the famous Mickey Mouse and built the famous Disneyland as one of the happiest places on earth. They contributed a lot to American tradition and to the whole mankind. Yan. Ganda na ano ko sa Disney ha. Wala akong sinasabi. While waiting for our connecting flight going to Orlando in Detroit before, one Filipino couple approached me. We had a nice conversation. They are the Buhayin family who lives in Jamerson Place, Orlando. According to Ate Lita, they came from New Jersey attending the wedding of their son. She said they used to live in New York but they transferred to Orlando. They gave us their contact number and told us to give them a call as soon as we arrive at the hotel in Orlando. She even assisted us to call our service taxi, the mayor's transportation, and at the phone when we arrived in Orlando International Airport. We finished our tour in Disneyland. We called them and they fetched us in the hotel right away. They brought us to the residence. Their house is 10 minutes away from the airport. Atelita is a hospital nurse and her husband is a retired U.S. Navy. They got 11 houses for rental. They prepared for us Filipino foods for dinner. She gave us a lot of clothing. She brought me everywhere in her house. She encouraged me to work in the U.S. She sent me package of clothing to the ship, but I signed off for medical reason by that time, and it was sent back to her by crew office. I got it by a crew who signed on the ship when I was already on the ship. Year 2002, my second contract with Disney Cruise Line. I got on board to Disney Magic again. At first, I took my flight from Manila to Dallas, Texas, then Detroit, then Orlando. I stayed in Orlando Crown Plaza Hotel. I felt sad and boring. I was alone in a big room and I couldn't sleep thinking the hard life I would be facing again on board. That was I felt. Every time I came back to Disney ship, I just that was I felt every time I came back to Disney ship. I just prepared myself for we had to leave early in the morning because we had to travel to Port Canaveral to embark the ship. My sacrifices began again the moment I signed on the ship. It was great working with DCL, like what people think. But I worked like a man. I was at deck department. But somehow, all of my dreams of helping my families became true. I sent my two sisters to college and somehow they finished it with my support. I built their simple houses too. I have helped almost everybody in my neighborhood and relatives and even to my beloved alma mater in elementary. That was my dream, my personal vision to share my blessings. I had so much hard time from my coworkers and from my officers. I did my work at my best, but like in the saying, it is really hard to please everybody.